เ lot of people don't listen to the same thing.
Where you going?
What's your name? What you doing that for?
I'll
take that with pride. Like, I'm like, nigga, this is easy.
Oh, yeah. What are we talking about? We talking about opportunities?
Oh,
yeah. And what's those opportunities leading on?
Financial wealth?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, people. Y'all see that? Come on, give me a date.
When I first started interviewing, it took me like,
right.
2 videos, it took me about an hour.
We have it.
But that's when I first started, like, I was slow. No, man.
What's happening, my good people? It is your boy PK.
I know exactly how much time I got.
Back with another vid on how I did you already.
The days of love.
What's happening, my good people? It is your boy PKG the Loves back with another vid on how I did. You already know what it is, and today I'm here to talk about the opportunities that present itself in front of you and what you can do with them today. All right, so there was about a period when COVID kicked off. Everybody remembers that. Everyone lost their jobs. Everyone got sick. They didn't know what to do. Some people passed away. Sorry about all that. But in that ideal moment of a pandemic, there was also a moment of opportunity. And that opportunity that presented itself left people without a job and left people with thinking of different ways to make more money. Here was one of those ways that I found out immediately after losing my retail job that I had for about 3 years. So each and every one of these skills right here was something that I learned out of a retail network that working there would have probably made me about $100,000 if I was doing it independently. Wait, $100,000? Yes, because it's a slew of information that you have to know. And being in that retail, you're trapped into that hourly circle range on where you're only getting paid $13 or $15 an hour, whatever it may be. But learning these skills and having these tools to your assessment may just give you the extra bag that you was looking for. So let's get into it for a minute. Let's talk about it for a moment. Each and every one of these skills that I have up has always been something that I've used and had to learn along the way. Starting with the smart home. Any and everything that you get out of a store now, most likely it'll be a technology advanced device that you'll be using, and most people have to figure out how to use that device. It's either you figure it out or you pay somebody to come out there and do it. One of those two options. And when you're losing one of those two, it's also going into your time. Do you really want to take the time to figure out how to do something? Are you really going to be that patient on figuring out something if it were to go wrong? So with these tools that we have here, these are also the opportunities that we use just to make some extra income. So because I know a lot about smart home, because I've seen and touched a lot of things that dealt with the smart locks, I'm able to do smart security SAMs, smart lock systems, smart hub and speaker setups. I'm able to do smart device setups. What are all those? So if I go into your house and you have an Amazon Alexa or you have a Google Home just sitting on your stand and you're asking me to make that your alarm clock and also configure it into your doorbell so when your doorbell rings, that gets a ring too. All of those things incorporate with each other but require Wi-Fi and a little bit of additional skill that someone has to have if it isn't you. So, because of knowing this information piece on how to install and how to set up this stuff, you can make up an extra bag on just doing it. So, I've had to learn all these things. Just started with the smart home, one element in itself. But there were more that I went down to because I was one of those people that was considered a jack of all trades. I don't want to say I wasn't a master of none because I mastered them all. So, I moved on to doing home theater. Everyone has a TV. If you don't have a TV that isn't a flat back TV, I don't know what type of TV you're using anymore and you probably should throw it away. So, with that being said, TVs that you have are going to be bigger and they're also going to be wider, but they aren't going to have great sound. So, then when we start talking about the hookups, the things that go to it, you have your surround sound, you have your sound bar, you have your optical cords. What are these devices? Things that have to go to the TV so that you hear everything from the TV and you get that Dolby Atmos feel when you're in that movie theater, or you're trying to get that surround sound feel where the vibrations from the floor make you feel as though, hey, this is an epic movie. This is about to be a great scene. You get those explicits that you don't want to use during the movie, but you're loving because you're engaged with it differently. So learning these skills on how to set up a sound system and give you that full around feel is something that pays you out in the long run. So we started talking about how to make 100K. Just doing these two alone, these two is 100K. No more. You don't have to learn anything else, but just learning those two. Because people will always need help with these two things. How to set up smart devices. What do I need to do? I forgot my Wi-Fi password. I don't know exactly what I'm doing with this. It said it was a simple, easy 1, 2, 3 step process, and it's not. Hey, that's why you get a technician out here to do it. So learning these skills will get you some bread in your pocket. Moving on to the next one. So let's check this out for a moment. You got computer repair and you got home office setup. What are those? Computer repair. So computer tune-up, data backup, new computer setup, virus removal. We all know about those things and what they may entitle, right? So if you don't have an antivirus software system or you didn't have a firewall before you got onto a computer, you caught a hold your Trojan horses on it, hey, someone's going to have to wipe, restart, refresh your computer. That person would be me. That person is the guy that's going to get it clean. The pilot is going to restart it, reinstall all your software, make sure you don't have all that good stuff anymore, and be able to use your function as if you purchased it for the first time again. So learning these skills aren't hard. Promise you probably will see a couple of YouTube videos from me or someone else. I'll preferably say myself because I've done videos on these to show you how to set these things up. Because virus removal and cleanup, uninstalling softwares like Word, PowerPoint, Excel, Access and Outlook, all of those applications that you get from Word also go into your software install and software uninstall process that you're going to do. Most people don't know how to do this, don't know where to look for, don't know where to go to, and this is all the money that they have to spend to get this thing figured out. It gets worse. It gets a whole lot worse because now we go into, hey, because I'm on this computer and this is a new computer for me, how do I set up my email? How do I get to my account information? What do I do to look up this? So now you're having to explain and go down the secret steps on what it takes to set up all this stuff because it's going to be complicated for somebody. Just make sure that somebody isn't you. And in the process of doing that, you have a lot of things that you're going to have to put together. So say, for instance, I have a computer over here. I have a printer over here. That person wants me to have this computer talk to this printer so that it prints wirelessly. I have to do that job separately, but it also comes with its own service charge. I know that it's going to require the Wi-Fi to set that up. I know it's going to also require the password. It's going to also require the connection distance that I have or bandwidth that I'll be able to do within. So all of these parameters are things I'm thinking of before I even go to the printer to set it up. But all of this is under computer repair. So anything I touch with a computer at any given point in time, I'm lethal on. And I'm going to tear up and destroy because I'm built that way. So any of these lessons that I'm going to teach, any of these problems I'm going to fix, any of these things I'm going to do, just understand it pays you to do it. So, yeah, this is a good bit of knowledge to learn. Now we go right into home office and school. Now we know why this is brought into here, right? But I'm going to go ahead and explain it anyway because I feel like we need to talk about it. All right, home office and school. Most kids since the pandemic have had to go home and learn school from home. So who else would be better to come out there and set them up for success other than yourself? The person that's going to come out there and make sure the internet works, the person that's going to come out there and make sure all the programs work, the person that's going to come out there and ensure that they're able to log into all their applications and get right into what they need to get into to learn. You could be that person because it's easy. It's an easy buck because you know all of this. And you know the simplest part is you having to set this up for somebody else that needs it. So just understand that diameter of thinking for a moment and see the value in just these two steps alone. So now that we've gone over smart home theater setup and hookup, computer setup or computer repair and help, and home office, we got two more things left. One is going to be easier than the other, but I want to make sure I talk about the first one, the harder one first. TV mounting. I don't personally think that TV mounting is hard. I don't think it's difficult. I don't think it's a strenuous process. I think personally most people are afraid. If I see a TV on a wall, I think I can take it down and I think I can put it up. That's just to be honest with you. Most people don't feel that same way. And because most people don't feel that way, that means there's an avenue for revenue right there. Right at that spot, right at that moment. And you have to understand what you're approaching and how you're going to attack that. So any person that does not want to mount a TV or has a fear, you tell them that you can do it and there's going to be a service that comes with it. So any person that has that dilemma that's trying to mount a TV, depending on if it's 1, 2, 3, if it's a 55 or 65 or a multitude of 65s, the price value of those TVs go up because someone wants that service done. You go out there being the specialist that you are, knowing the skills that you know, having the tools that you have and the resources that you gain from this experience of talking with me today, you'll definitely be out there able to mount a TV, put it on the wall, and ensure that it's not going to fall at any given point in time because you're built that way. And by the end of this conversation today, we want to ensure that you're built that way. So as we look into these TVs, I just wanted to talk about it because there's a lot of money to be made in that avenue as well. Out of all 4 of these, you could probably make $100,000 just from this alone. So, out of combination of all these jobs, I'm listing all the opportunities that present itself. What you can, what you're able, how far you're able, your capabilities. And I don't want to limit you on anything that you're doing. But I do want to let you know all of the steps is possible and profitable as you're learning. The last one is going to be mobile tablets and setups. There are few and small occasions where you're running to teach someone how to set up a phone. But in those moments that you do, that is also profit as well. So someone that does not know how to get into their Gmail address or don't know how to use these applications, whatever the sort may be, you go in there, you give them that advice, you give them that support, you're able to make a payout because you know the knowledge. All of this stuff that I'm talking about today does not require a lot of hands-on. But as you're knowing the knowledge, you'll realize that each and everything requires you to think about it more than it requires you to do more pushing, do more turning. You have to really apply yourself in thought and how I'm going to do this. So once you understand this, the money will start flowing for you a whole lot faster and a whole lot quicker. So I gave you all this today to let you know the opportunities that are out there that presents itself. You guys can do it because I've seen someone out here that is doing it. I'm on track to possibly do it at this moment. And I want to make sure that everybody around me is on that same playing field, that same stage, because we can all stand up there together. This is 100,000 in action. I'm showing you. You can do this. All of this stuff is not even Googleable, but you can look at it and see, what can I figure out? How can I do it? There are tutorial videos on what you can do to learn more. I just don't want to limit you to say, hey, I worked at a retail store. I worked at a retail store for forever. What other opportunities can I do other than work at this retail store? I was in that same boat. I was in that same boat for about 3 years and I had to figure something out. This is what I figured out. Where to take my skills, and my skills took me to the next level. You got to go to the next level. You can't stay stagnant. You can't stay there. You have to go to the next level. All right? So today, this was just to give you a presentation of everything that you could do to make $100,000 if you learn these skills. Each and every one of them have their own payout. But I promise you, they're going to be great when you start. All right? PKG Deluxe is in. PKG Deluxe is out, baby. Oh, no.